last lecture, if you remember, we have covered definitions under this topic, analytical method validation. There were three important definitions. Then we saw seven listed parameters of typical validation process, and one parameter was unlisted, that was robustness. Okay. I will proceed further. In today's lecture, we are going to see, we have seen all definitions, what is linearity, what is accuracy, what is precision, and all that. Now we will try to establish these parameters for particular analytical procedure. Now, coming back to the methodology to determining the different uh, parameters of analytical procedure, we are starting with linearity. A linear relationship should be evaluated across the range of the analytical procedure. Now, this word across the range is important. The range should be established first or should be considered first, then you should go for linearity. Or if you are starting with linearity as a parameter to be determined first, uh, when you are doing the procedure, be uh, you should be very careful that in what concentrations linearity is not followed and in what concentrations linearity is followed. You should take that upper and lower limit for your analytical method, calculation, and all other considerations. Okay, it may be demonstrated or it may be determined in two ways. First, directly on the drug substance by dilution of a standard stock solution. We have done this many times for colorimetric titration, that salicylic acid experiment, streptomycin experiment, then quinine sulfate experiment. We have taken drug substance, pure drug substance, and then we have carried out dilutions of that, and then we have taken absorbance or fluorescence and like that. So this is first method, directly on the drug substance itself. Second thing, it can also be demonstrated by separately weighing a synthetic mixture of the drug product components using the proposed procedure. Now, to understand this second part, you must understand that when a formulation of streptomycin is there, streptomycin injection or streptomycin, any other form, okay, of streptomycin, okay. So in that case, there will be some excipients, there will be some preservatives added, antioxidants added. If it is tablet formulation, there will be diluents, there will be binders, there will be glidants, anti-adherent, and many such components. Okay, so uh, the uh, if the drug substance means not just the pure drug substance. If the formulation is not available, you will weigh these different components in the proportionate quantity, same as your drug substance or drug formulation. You will mix thoroughly all of the components along with your active ingredient, and that mixture you will treat for the procedure of the analytical method. Okay, linearity should be evaluated by visual inspection of a plot of signals as a function of analytical concentration or content. Now, this is the most important part, that visually it should be analyzed first. Then only after visualizing or after observing, you should go for applying the mathematical procedure. So in linearity, first step is visualization. I will tell you why it is important. Okay, I will draw two sets of data. I'm sorry, please consider this as points. Huh? On x-axis you have concentration, on y-axis you have absorbance. Similarly over here, absorbance and concentration. Okay, out of these two, now I cannot shift my PowerPoint presentation to chat window. Otherwise, this white screen will vanish. So someone from your side has to unmute yourself and tell me, out of the two graphs, graphs 1 and graph 2, which graph shows linear relationship between concentration and absorbance?
Graph 1.
Excellent. I don't know who answered this, but your answer is right. Graph 1 shows the linear relationship between concentration and absorbance. I'm sorry. Now, if you apply certain statistical method, you will get similar outcomes. When I'm saying statistical methods, like if you try to plot standard deviation, or if you try to plot or you try to calculate linear regression equations, in both the cases you may get similar equation. Okay, of course the slope will be different, but other points you may get similar. So specifically standard deviation is very misleading, okay, if you don't observe the graph visually first. So in case 1 and case 2, in both cases you will get very similar standard deviation values, because when we calculate standard deviation, we do not consider many times the x parameter, we only consider y parameters. So in first case and second case you may get similar standard deviation values. Okay, now if you are getting similar standard deviation values, one might think, if he is not looking at the graph, one might think that both data sets are linear, but it will be very misleading. So first thing that you need to do when you are establishing linearity is to observe the graph. If graph is visually linear, visually you can say if it is linear, then only you can proceed for when we can proceed for further methodology. So this was the first point. First point is visual inspection. First step is visual inspection. Then coming to the next point, if there is a linear relationship, test results should be evaluated by appropriate statistical methods. For example, calculation of linear regression line by the method of least square. We have actually done this. Okay, we have applied method of least square. You may be remembering those formula. We will see this formula again. So after visual inspection, second thing is applying the method of least square and calculate the linear regression line. In some cases, now this was the second point. Third point, in some cases to obtain linearity, the test data may need to be subjected to a mathematical transformation prior to the regression analysis. This is specifically important for biological assays in which logarithm of response value is taken. Even in your pharmacology experiment, in your dose response curve, whatever response you are getting, either you are plotting directly it on the logarithmic paper, logarithmic graph paper, or you take a log of your value, then you plot on the graph. Am I right? Have you done that? Have you done biological assays, dose response curve? Yes. So have you taken logarithm or you have used log paper? दोनों में से आपने क्या किया है? Log paper use किया है या logarithm लिया है? You have taken logarithm and then plotted on graph. Okay, Manjiri has said that. Okay. So in case of biological assays, you need to subject data to mathematical transformation prior to the plotting the graph or regression analysis. Now, uh, after you have done regression analysis, data from regression line itself may be helpful to provide mathematical estimate of degree of linearity. After you have done the linear regression line, उससे ही शायद आपको पता चलेगा कि कितना डिग्री ऑफ linearity है. Okay, you must be remembering calculation of correlation coefficient. Okay, that r and r square values, you have done that. Okay, the correlation coefficient, y-intercept, slope of the regression line, and residual sum of the square should be submitted. अभी ये जितने भी पैरामीटर्स है उसमें से सिर्फ आपको ये पता नहीं है, residual sum of square. I will tell you what it is in next slide. In addition, an analysis of the deviation of the actual data points from the regression line may also be helpful for evaluation of linearity. Now, ये जो residual sum of square है, that residual sum of square and this analysis of deviation from the actual data point, they are actually very close to each other. Okay. Now, last point, for the establishment of linearity, a minimum phi concentration is recommended. So ICH is recommending to take at least 5 concentrations to plot the linearity graph. So that's why in all your experiments where you take calibration curve, there are at least 5 points that you consider. Okay. Now, this is in a way a refresher for you. We have done this in last semester. We had done lots of, I think, examples also. The equation of a straight line is y is equal to ax plus b. What is a over here and what is b over here? Can anybody tell me in the chat box what is a and what is b? Okay, Sunny is saying a is slope. A is slope. So right, A is slope. What is B? B is y-intercept. Excellent, excellent. So I will. So happy to know that you people remember what is A and B. Suppose this particular line is describing y is equal to ax plus b. So when I calculate slope, that slope is indicated by A, and this y-intercept is indicated by B. Okay. Now, when you apply a linear regression to such lines, अच्छा आपको initially lines नहीं मिलेगा, आपको सिर्फ you will be having only 5 points. You will be having 5 points from your experiments, each point with x coordinate and y coordinate. So by those 5 x coordinates and y coordinates, you apply linear regression procedure, method of least square, and a simple regression takes the form of y cap is equal to a plus bx. Now, it should be, I'm sorry, I will correct it. It should be b plus ax. I hope there is no confusion. This is typing mistake from my side. Okay. I hope I have corrected it and nobody will get confused by this. Okay. So a simple linear regression takes the form of y cap is equal to b plus ax, where y cap is predicted value of y. Now, in our experiments, what we had done, we calculated this equation. We came out with this equation by applying method of least square, and in this equation we substituted different values of x, x1, x2, x3 and x4. ये जब अलग अलग वैल्यू x का सब्स्टिट्यूट किया in the equation, we got different values of y. These are predicted values. Now, there is a difference between predicted value and observed values. Okay. The 5 points which are given to you are the observed values of y. जो ऑब्जर्वेशन आपको दिया गया है या फिर आपने एक्सपेरिमेंट से पता किया है, उसका y कोऑर्डिनेट्स दे ऑल आर ऑब्जर्व्ड वैल्यूज. Okay. After you apply linear regression, come up with the equation of the line and you predict the correct values of y, y cap 1, y cap 2, y cap 3 and so on. These are the predicted values. So there will be difference between predicted values and observed values. Predicted values of the y, every value will lie on this line. Every value will be on this line, but observed value will be away, somewhat away from this line. Are you getting this concept, everyone? If you have understood, then only I can proceed. Okay, I will repeat. Okay. Let me clear the ink on the slide. Okay. I hope you remember these two formulas. What is A is equal to and what is B is equal to. Okay. Now, there will be 5 points given. Okay, suppose this is concentration. Concentration is your X and absorbance is your Y. Okay. So different values of concentration. Now I will not write values. Suppose it may be x1 is equal to 10, x2 is equal to 20 and so on. Okay. Such values will be given till say x5. Okay. For every value of concentration, there will be value of absorbance. Say it will be y1, y2, so on till y5. Okay. Now both of these values are given, or you have observed this after your experiments. You have prepared different concentration x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5, and for every concentration you got values of absorbance y1, y2, y3, y4 and y5. Have you understood this much? That for every concentration there will be a fixed value, observed value और given value of absorbance. कॉन्सेंट्रेशन के लिए, हर एक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन के लिए एक एब्जॉर्बेंस हमको मिलेगा एक्सपेरिमेंट से. नाउ व्हेन यू प्लॉट दिस ग्राफ ऑफ गिवन वैल्यूज ऑफ concentration and observed value of absorbance, okay, it will not be a perfect linear relationship. It will be near linear relationship, but all those points will not fall on single line. This we have experienced. Am I right? कि हम जब रीडिंग लेते हैं तो लाइन ड्रॉ करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो all points do not fall on the line. Okay, this is what is observed. You all have experienced it. Okay, so we calculate from these readings only. Okay, यही C का वैल्यू और यही एब्जॉर्बेंस का वैल्यू से हम A और B कैलकुलेट करते हैं. Okay, when you calculate A and B, you get a equation for linear line. Okay, this is equation of a linear line. Now, if you substitute, अब ये देखो आपको स्लोप भी मिला है, आपको y इंटरसेप्ट भी मिला है, और अगर आपने यहाँ पे ये जो x1, x2, x3 है वो अगर ऊपर के फॉर्मूला में डालना चालू किया, ओके, सपोज आई फर्स्ट सब्स्टिट्यूटेड x1, आई विल गेट y1 बार. अभी इसका वैल्यू और इसका वैल्यू अलग अलग होगा. हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस? हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस? Okay, now I hope everyone has understood this much, that by substituting values, different values of x, you get values of y, and those values of y are different than the given value of y. Now, these new values, those all values do fall exactly on the line. वो exactly line पे होता है. Unlike the observed values, all these values are exactly on the line. क्यों ऐसा क्यों होता है? Because we have found those values by substituting x in the equation of line. That's why all those points are on the line. Now, if you have understood this much, have you understood? First tell me that. Have you understood this? Yes, you have understood. ओके, अगर किसको नहीं समझा रहेगा तो लेक्चर के बाद में रुको, आई विल एक्सप्लेन दिस टू यू. आई एम सॉरी. ओके, सो once you have got all the values of y bar and you have all the values of y, that is given value, and this is calculated value after applying linear regression. This is after linear regression. Okay, this is called as, this particular value is called as predicted value of y, and this is called as observed value of y. So वो दोनों में एक difference. So there will be difference between y1 and y1 bar, y1 cap I should say. Okay, so उसका square plus y2 minus y cap 2 square up to जितने भी रीडिंग है आपके, सपोज 5 रीडिंग है तो n के जगह पे 5 आएगा. I'm sorry. Okay, this particular term is called as the residual sum of squares. Okay, ये दोनों में जो डिफरेंस है उसको कहते हैं रेसिड्यू. That is the difference between the observed value and calculated value. That is called as residue. So this particular entire term is expressed as, this particular term is expressed as summation of y minus y cap the whole square, and it is calculated with this formula जो मैंने नीचे लिखा है. Okay, so इतना सब मैंने क्यों बताया? Because you need to report the residual sum of the squares when you are reporting the methodology of linear regression or linearity when you are establishing any new validation process. Okay, so मैंने इतना सब कुछ बताया इसके लिए. Okay, the rest of the things are familiar to you. I should not explain all those. Okay, any doubt in linearity? Any doubt in linearity? You can ask your doubt if you have one. Just we will quickly revise it and then we will proceed. A linear relation should be evaluated across the range of analytical procedure. So in this case, the word range is important. Now, it can be done directly on the drug substance, or it can be done on mixture of all the components of the drug products. Okay. Now, पहले क्या करना है? Visual inspection करना है. After you have done visual inspection and you are convinced that there may be linear relationship, then you can apply the method of least square and go for calculation of linear regression. In some cases, some mathematical transformations are required, like in terms of biological assays. Now, when you are done that, then you can calculate linear regression line, and you can calculate R and R square. Okay, degree of linearity you can estimate from those two values, R and R square. That is nothing but your correlation coefficient. So you are going to report correlation coefficient, your y-intercept, so slope of the regression line, and residual sum of the squares as your data obtained from methodology to establish linearity. In addition to this, analysis of the deviation of the actual data points from the regression line should also be helpful for evaluating the linearity. Now, analysis of the deviation means we have to calculate standard deviation, nothing else. Okay, we have to calculate standard deviation. It is not very high-fi procedure. You have all the x coordinates, you have all the y coordinates. You can calculate standard deviation. Okay, these two slides are nothing, only revisions for you of linear regression calculations. Now, in this semester, in practical, maybe in coming week or week after that, we are going to apply method of least square, and we are going to calculate linearity and precision. If you don't have doubt till here, I will proceed. We never reported residual sum of squares because generally in Mumbai University, it is not asked in exam. And in the previous semester, we did not study the theoretical aspect of it. Theoretical aspect of it with respect to ICH guidelines. Okay, that's why we did not calculated or reported residual sum squares in previous semester. Even in this semester, we are studying only it in theory. In practical, we are not going to calculate it because it is not asked in exam. It is not in the syllabus framework of the practicals. It is only in the syllabus of the theory. Shall I proceed? Okay. So, after linearity, second term is accuracy. Second term is accuracy. Now, accuracy should be established across the specified range of the analytical procedure. जैसे linearity के लिए था, range was important. Same for accuracy, range is also important. Now, it is done with respect to assay of the drug substance, impurities present in the drug substance, or impurities present in the drug formulation. It is also called as quantitation of impurities. And third part under accuracy, we are going to see what is the recommended data, what you are supposed to submit to ICH or as per ICH guidelines. Okay, first we'll start with assays. When we are talking about assay can be done for a drug substance or assay can be done for drug product. Okay, now let us study both type of assay comparatively so you will understand it better. Okay, under assay, let us first consider assay of drug substance. Several methods of determining accuracy are available. There are many methods. Three of the methods are generally considered. There may be some other method also defined by the analyst if the analyst can justify it. But these three methods are important. Application of an analytical procedure to an analyte of the known purity. Okay, so I will explain this. You devised a method, you found out a method to determine purity of paracetamol. आपने नया method ढूंढ के निकाला. Now you want to establish its accuracy. How will you establish its accuracy? You will take a drug substance, paracetamol, whose concentration, whose purity is already known by some other method or something else. But आपको before you are once you are taking it as a drug substance for analysis, you know the purity of the drug substance, know the purity of paracetamol before you apply your procedure. Okay, then obviously that particular substance is called as a reference material. It is also called as standard material. Okay, standard drug substance. There are many companies who provide such drug substance or reference material. If you will search Google that reference paracetamol, you will get a list of companies who give or provide such pure sample of paracetamol whose concentration, whose purity is exactly known. So इससे क्या पता चलेगा? Suppose the material I have taken is 95% pure. When I apply my method is telling me the drug substance is 90% pure. So is my method accurate? You can comment in the chat box. No. So my method should tell the exact level of purity that the drug substance is reported to be pure. 95% प्योर बोला है तो मेरे मेथड ने भी 95% प्योरिटी बताना चाहिए. Then only my method is pure. My method is accurate. I'm sorry. My method is then only it is accurate. Okay. If this is clear, let us go to the second method to determine accuracy. Comparison of the results of proposed analytical procedure with those of a second well characterized procedure, the accuracy of which is stated or defined. I will take the example of same paracetamol. Okay, the substance I have taken for analysis, I don't know its purity. I have devised a new method. Let us call it as a final year OCP method. So final year OCP method, I applied to that paracetamol substance. I got purity of 95%. There was another HPLC method which is established, worldwide accepted by all the scientists. That method, when I apply HPLC method, it is giving me the purity 98%. So my final year OCP final year method, is that method accurate then? I will ask the question again. We in final year in OCP, we devised a method to analyze paracetamol. When we apply that method to a sample of paracetamol, we got answer as the sample is 95% pure. But there was another HPLC method which is established, accepted worldwide. That method is saying it is 98% pure. 98% assay is the result. So there is a difference between accepted method ka result and our devised method. So if there is difference, we cannot say that our method is accurate. तो पहले मेथड में हमने क्या कंपेयर किया? Reported purity of the substance with the result of our method. In second type, we compared our method with already established method. Now let us see what is third type. Accuracy may be referred once precision, linearity, and specificity have been established. This third method is indirect method. For the method that you have devised, if you can establish precision, if you can establish linearity, if you can establish specificity, we can assume that the method is also accurate. I will repeat. Once you established precision, linearity, and specificity of a method, you can assume that accuracy exists for the method. Have you understood this third part? Have you understood this third part? Students, please reply. Yes, okay. तो अगर ये तीन पैरामीटर एस्टेब्लिश होते हैं तो एक्यूरेसी अलग से एस्टेब्लिश करने का जरूरत नहीं है, वो अपने आप एस्टेब्लिश हो गया ऐसा एज्यूम कर सकते हैं. ओके, नाउ all these three methods were referring to drug substance. It was related to drug substance. Now let us compare the drug substance ka methods with drug product ka methods. Okay, again there are several methods for determining accuracy are available for drug product. Any method other than the listed three methods, but the analyst, if the analyst can justify that method, can be acceptable. First method, application of the analytical procedure to synthetic mixtures of the drug product components to which known quantities of the drug substance to be analyzed have been added. If you will observe that this method is very similar to the method for drug substance. देखो ये second जो drug product है उसमें क्या किया है, I will read again. Application of the analytical procedure to the synthetic mixture of the drug product components to which the known quantities of drug substances to be analyzed have been added. मतलब क्या है, मैं सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बताता हूँ. ड्रग प्रोडक्ट में समझो टैबलेट है, उसमें क्या रहेगा, योर एक्टिव इंग्रेडिएंट. हमारा फेवरेट पैरासिटामोल ले लेते हैं, उसमें बाइंडर रहेगा, उसमें ग्लाइडेंट रहेगा, उसमें एंटी अधेरेंट रहेगा. Many such things will be added. So what you are going to do, you are going to take a drug, okay, whose quantity is exactly known. Okay, उसका क्वांटिटी आपको एग्जैक्टली पता है. ओके, इन दैट एग्जैक्टली नोन क्वांटिटी यू आर गोइंग टू ऐड सिंथेटिक मटेरियल्स. मतलब क्या, बाइंडर अलग से ऐड किया, उसके बाद ग्लाइडेंट अलग से ऐड किया, उसके बाद एंटी अधेरेंट अलग से ऐड किया. सो दीज ऑल एडेड मटेरियल शुड बी ऑफ द सेम प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ योर ड्रग प्रोडक्ट, दैट इज योर टैबलेट. उसको ऐड करने के बाद उसको मिक्स करेंगे. आफ्टर थरो मिक्सिंग you are going to apply your analytical procedure to the mixture. Okay, and you should get the exact quantity of the drug, say paracetamol, which you have added. If the added quantity is different from the calculated quantity, then you can say that your drug your analysis method is not accurate. And if the added quantity of paracetamol and calculated quantity of paracetamol, if both of them are matching, then you can say your method is accurate. Have you understood this concept? Please tell me in the chat box. Excellent, excellent. But only 2 students are saying that they have understood. I want more replies. Okay. At least there is no in the chat box that they have not understood. I will proceed for the next method. In next method, in case where it is impossible to obtain samples of all drug product components, कई बार ऐसे होता है, कुछ तो ऐसा एक्सिपिएंट से वो अवेलेबल नहीं है, you cannot add that. Okay. So you are going to go for the second B procedure. It may be acceptable either to add known quantities of the analyte to the drug product to compare the results obtained from a second well characterized procedure, the accuracy of which is stated or defined. Okay, we will put this particular statement in parts so you will understand. It may be acceptable either to add known quantities of the analyte to the drug product. This is one part. And second part is to compare the result obtained from second well characterized procedure whose accuracy is stated or defined. हम यहाँ तक उसको second part consider करते हैं. So this second method has got two parts. I will tell you what it is. Okay. Now, first, add known quantities of the analyte to the drug product. Now, in the drug product, say there is 500 milligram of paracetamol. Now, this is the label claim. Okay, this is the label claim. We don't know whether that is really happening or not. हम क्या करेंगे? जो हमारा नया मेथड है, we are going to apply that new method to the drug formulation. After applying, you found out that the drug substance contains 400 milligram of drug and not 500 milligram of drug. So this you established by your method. Now, you are taking the same formulation. In the formulation, you are going to add 100 mg of pure paracetamol. Now, your method should now detect 500 mg of paracetamol in the drug formulation. It should determine. If it is determine exact 100 milligram का difference between two assays using same method, then you can say that your method is accurate. Suppose ऐसे नहीं हुआ. In first, when 500 mg label claim tablet was there, you apply your procedure, you found out there was 500 mg of paracetamol present by your method. But when you manually added 100 mg in that drug formulation and you carried out the same analysis by your method, and now you are getting 450 mg of drug in the drug formulation. But you know in this case that you have added 100 milligram, लेकिन आपको मिल क्या रहा है 50 milligram added. So it is very obvious that your method is not accurate. Have you understood this part? Have you understood this part of the second step, everyone? Excellent, excellent. Okay, now let's come to the second part. This second part is very similar to this part of drug substance. I will read out to compare the results obtained from a second well characterized procedure. मतलब आपने आपका मेथड अप्लाई किया ड्रग फॉर्मुलेशन को, आपको मिला के 400 मिलीग्राम ऑफ पैरासिटामोल प्रेजेंट है. आपने दूसरा मेथड देखा जो ऑलरेडी एस्टेब्लिश्ड है, एक्सेप्टेबल है, आईपी में यूएसपी में है, ऑलरेडी रिपोर्टेड, वो मेथड आपने लिया और अप्लाई किया, और वो मेथड भी बता रहा है कि 400 मिलीग्राम ऑफ पैरासिटामोल इज प्रेजेंट इन द ड्रग फॉर्मुलेशन. दैट मीन्स your method is as accurate as the reported method. Have you understood this second part, everyone? Please comment in the chat box. Okay, this is very simple. Now coming to the last part. This last part is similar. Accuracy may be inferred once precision, linearity, specificity have been established. I should not explain this now. ओके, सो ये दोनों में डिफरेंट क्या है ड्रग सब्सटेंस और ड्रग प्रोडक्ट में? फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द सेकेंड पॉइंट और सेकेंड मेथड इज ओनली डिफरेंट. एवरीथिंग एल्स इज सेम फॉर ड्रग सब्सटेंस एंड ड्रग प्रोडक्ट. So this way you will remember by remembering the similarities and differences. Have you understood this? Have you copied this down? Shall I proceed? Okay. Now, the previous point was regarding the drug substances and drug formulation. Second part, in the methodology of determining accuracy is impurities. When we are talking about impurities, impurity should be quantified. मतलब impurity क्या है और कितना है, दोनों भी पता करने का मेथड, एक्यूरेटली पता करने का मेथड. ओके. Accuracy should be assessed on samples. Sample can be drug substance or drug product spiked with known amount of impurities. Spiked with known amount of impurities means हमारा मेथड क्या कर रहा है? मेथड, वी हैव established a method to determine how much impurity is present. So what I will do, I have a drug formulation, say it is a suspension. In that suspension, I am adding known quantity of impurity, and then I am applying the method to that spiked formulation. After applying method to the spiked formulation, the methodology should exactly tell me how much of the impurity present. Now, I have spiked it, so I know how much amount or how much quantity of impurity I have added. That should match with the result from my method. Now, this method is applicable only when the impurities which are present originally are known. Okay. Now, second method, in case where it is impossible to obtain samples of certain impurities, मतलब आपको impurities, pure impurities आपको मिला ही नहीं है, और degradation product, you don't have degradation product, it is considerable, it is considered acceptable to compare results obtained by an independent procedure. मतलब आपका एक मेथोडोलॉजी है और एक रिपोर्टेड मेथोडोलॉजी है, दोनों को कंपेयर करो. ओके. सो पहले क्या है? फिक्स्ड क्वांटिटी, नोन क्वांटिटी है इंप्योरिटी का. दूसरे में आप क्या कर रहे हो? रिजल्ट को कंपेयर कर रहे हो. नाउ लेट अस सी द थर्ड. The response factor in case of bioactivity of the drug substance can be used. I will further go. It should be clear how the individual or total impurities are determined, that is weight by weight or percent, in all cases with respect to the major analyte. Now, in case of bioactivity, suppose 1 unit of drug is giving you 1 unit of bioactivity. 2 units of drug is giving you 2 units of bioactivity. 3 units of drug is giving you 3 units of bioactivity. But if so, this way you will calibrate the calibration, you will plot the calibration curve. Okay. Now, in the methodology, if even if you are taking 1 unit of the drug substance and it is giving you 0.9 of the response, that means that missing 0.1 unit of response is accounting for 0.1 unit of impurities present in your drug substance. That means 0.1 unit impurities are present. Have you understood this third point? Have you understood this third point? Okay. So Ruksar is asking to repeat. I will repeat. 1 unit of drug substance should give you one unit of response. मतलब क्या? अगर मैंने 500 मिलीग्राम ऑफ 500 मिलीग्राम ऑफ पैरासिटामोल लिया, तो उसका जो रिस्पॉन्स है उसको समझो हमने 500 यूनिट कंसिडर किया. आई एम गिविंग यू दिस हाइपोथेटिकल एग्जांपल. ओके. मेरे पास एक ये हो गया, मेथड हो गया. ये क्या हो गया? हमारा एनालिसिस का मेथड हुआ. तो इन दिस पर्टिकुलर मेथड, when I have taken 500 milligram of the drug substance paracetamol, but I got only 490 units of response. When I am looking at 490 units of response, obviously there is 10 unit missing in the response. Why those 10 units got missing? Because the drug substance had 10 units of impurity. तो मैंने impurity measure किया यहाँ पे, कितना है impurity? 10 units or 10 milligram. So this is how I am quantifying the impurities. Have you understood now? Okay. So basically, every time I give example of paracetamol, people understand it better because they know the dose. Okay, anyway, so that was the third part. Okay. It should be clear how the individual or total impurity should be determined. So before you establish your method, you should be aware whether you are going to report your impurities in percentage or you are going to report your impurities in terms of weight by weight. Now, both the cases, when you are reporting whether percentage or you are reporting weight by weight or percent weight by weight, it should be with respect to the major analyte, that is weight of impurity divided by weight of analyte. Like, suppose weight of analyte in the formulation is 500 milligram. Okay, and the impurities you have found is 10 milligram. So in case of weight by weight, you can calculate the impurity. It will be 1/50. ये कितना आएगा? 0.02 or 0.2? I think it will be 0.02. So impurity will be 0.02 weight by weight. Okay, and so on. अगर ये percentage में है, so it will be multiplied by 100. So it will be 2% of the impurity. Have you understood this last part? Have you understood this last part? Okay, excellent. Now, this is the last slide for today's lecture. Okay, recommended data for accuracy. मतलब एक्यूरेसी अगर किसी मेथड का एस्टेब्लिश करना है तो हमको कौन सा डेटा सबमिट करना पड़ेगा, या फिर अगर हमने कोई रिसर्च पेपर लिखा मेथोडोलॉजी पे तो वहां पे कौन सा डेटा हमको एक्सप्रेस करना पड़ेगा. ओके, व्हाट शुड वी कैरी आउट? ओके, एक्यूरेसी शुड बी असेस्ड यूजिंग a minimum of 9 determinations over minimum of 3 concentrations level covering the specified range. मतलब कोई जो भी रेंज रहेगा कॉन्सेंट्रेशन का, वो रेंज में आपको 3 कॉन्सेंट्रेशन लेने हैं, C1, C2 and C3. At all these 3 concentration, you need to determine 3 outcomes. In other words, for every concentration, you are going to apply your method thrice. For all 3 concentration, you are going to apply your method thrice. So overall, you will get 9 determinations. Okay, have you understood this part? How the 9 determinations are there? अगर नहीं समझाए तो ऑब्वियसली पैरासिटामोल का एग्जांपल लेते हैं. पैरासिटामोल का जब हम ऐसे करने वाले हैं, समझो, तो ऐसे हमको करना है 10 माइक्रोग्राम पर ml पे. तो हम एक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन लेंगे 10 माइक्रोग्राम पर ml, एक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन लेंगे 8 माइक्रोग्राम पर ml, एक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन लेंगे 12 माइक्रोग्राम पर ml. So when the concentration that we are generally going to use, one concentration less than that, one concentration more than that. So we have taken 8 microgram per ml, 10 microgram per ml, 12 microgram per ml. All these 3 concentration, we are going to apply our method thrice. So 3 concentration, each concentration repeated thrice. So overall 9 outcomes you will get. Okay. Now accuracy should be reported as percent recovery by assay. That is the percentage that we report at the end of assay, that so many percentage of paracetamol is present in the sample. Okay. Then as the difference between the mean and the accepted true value together with the confidence interval. Now, this is statistical method. We will see this in practical. ये कैसे करते हैं? Now, the difference between the mean and accepted value, it is similar to your y minus y bar. It is similar to that. I am saying similar, huh? I am not saying exactly that. जो हमने linearity में लिया था. Okay, similar to this. उसमें थोड़ा सा difference है, हम वो practical में देखेंगे क्या है. Okay, so that was the last slide for today. Start giving your attendance. If you have doubt, you can stay back after attendance. Otherwise, you can disconnect your call after the attendance. So start with roll number 1, Agnes. Okay, roll number 2, 3, 4. I will not call your roll numbers. Go on. Avantika Vishwakarma, you will stay back after the lecture. Don't disconnect. Okay, Avantika, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
You missed my few of lectures in last month. Any particular reason for that?
Sir, actually, I got some internet issues, that's why.
Okay. Okay, because when I was analyzing your attendance at the end, a student who was always present at the beginning of the lecture, there are 3-4 students who report on time. You were one of them. So I
Yes,
was
sir, I got
really
disconnected after some times.
so that internet issue is fixed now?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, when the light goes off now, so Wi-Fi also goes off, and I don't have that much data in my phone. So network issues are also there at my place.
I have same problems. You stay at Ambarnath, na?
No, sir, Ulhasnagar. But my home is like on a village side, so here there is a very lot of network issues.
Okay. Even I face issue, but it was about only pharmaceutical analysis, or you missed all the lectures?
No, sir, only for analysis. I was present in other lectures.
Okay, ठीक है, okay. Okay, Sakshi, I got it. 28%. If you have doubt, you can stay back. Otherwise, you can disconnect. You can ask your doubt now.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So, can you explain percent recovery by the assay?
Huh.
Can you explain that once again?
See, percent recovery. That I think the recovery word got confused you. Uh, recovery is nothing but the percent content we find at the end of any assay. Now that particular word recovery is related to HPLC analysis. Okay. In the HPLC analysis, from the column, how much of the analyte has got recovered. Okay. So suppose 100 milligram of the analyte was injected in the column. In the uh, in the prominent curve which you observe in the HPLC graph, suppose 99% is observed in that graph. So percent recovery is 99%. So this wording is particularly applicable to HPLC methods. Okay. But at the end of assay, whatever we report, 99%, that the assay of paracetamol in the given paracetamol tablet was found to be 99%. That value, 99%, is called as percent recovery. Has your doubt been solved?
Yes, sir.
Any other doubt? हाँ.
And sir, ड्रग प्रोडक्ट का जो पॉइंट ऑफ डिफरेंस है ड्रग सब्सटेंस से, तो वो एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो क्या आगे?
हाँ, sure, sure. Are you asking about this point? Just to confirm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me open a blank screen. Suppose we will take the usual example of paracetamol tablet having 500 milligram of paracetamol. Okay. You have devised a new method. Okay. Now this 500 milligram is label claim. It is a label claim. Okay. You don't know whether really 500 milligram is present or not. So you apply this new method to the tablet, and after application, suppose your result is 490 milligram of drug is present. 490 milligram of 490 milligram of paracetamol is present in the tablet. Now you will take the same powder, same tablet powder, जिसमें excipients भी है. So you will take same powder and you will add 100 milligram of pure paracetamol. You are adding 100 milligram of pure paracetamol, and after the applying your method to this new mixture, what should you get? Ideally, you should get 590 milligram. You should get your result as 590 milligram of paracetamol present. Suppose you are getting this result, that means your method is accurate. But suppose I am getting 550 milligram, that means my method is not accurate. Have you understood this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubt?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, the same slide only, the first and second point, can you explain?
You want me to explain this point?
No, sir, left side.
You understood this point? I'm asking you, have you understood
Yes.
this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this will be easy for me if you have understood that point. Application of an analytical procedure to an analyte of the known purity. Suppose you have a standard substance of paracetamol. Standard substance का मतलब क्या है? उसका purity exactly known है. Suppose the standard substance you have is 99.5% pure. It is 99.5% pure, and this pure substance is available in your lab. Okay, so you take that substance and you apply your new method to this substance. If your new method is also coming up with the same figure of 99.5%, that means your method is accurate. If your method is saying 90% pure, that means your method is not accurate. क्योंकि आपको तो पता है ये इतना प्योर है, लेकिन आपका मेथड इतना बता रहा है, इसके मतलब आपके मेथड में ही गड़बड़ है. योर मेथड इज नॉट एक्यूरेट.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, second point, comparison of the results of the proposed analytical procedure with those of a second well-characterized procedure, the accuracy of which is stated or defined. Okay. अभी इसमें दो प्रोसीजर का कंपैरिजन करना है. वन इज योर मेथड एंड सेकेंड इज एस्टेब्लिश्ड मेथड. अभी आपने एक पैरासिटामोल का टैबलेट लिया, उसका प्यूरिटी आपको पता नहीं है, उसका प्यूरिटी, उसका परसेंट कंटेंट कुछ भी पता नहीं है. आपके मेथड से आपको 99% प्योर आ रहा है और एस्टेब्लिश मेथड से आपको 95% प्योर आ रहा है. तो आपका रिजल्ट एस्टेब्लिश रिजल्ट से मैच हो रहा है क्या? नहीं हो रहा है. तो ये तो एस्टेब्लिश्ड मेथड है, पूरे दुनिया भर के साइंटिस्ट ने एक्सेप्ट किया है. तो ये अगर 95% बता रहा है तो 95% इज द राइट प्यूरिटी. सो देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग विथ योर मेथड. हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस सेकंड पार्ट?
Yes, sir.
ओके. एनी अदर डाउट? एनीबडी? एनी डाउट?
तो सर वो ड्रग प्रोडक्ट का जो सेकंड पॉइंट है उसमें इन केसेस वेयर इट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू ऑब्टेन सैंपल्स ऑफ ऑल ड्रग प्रोडक्ट कंपोनेंट्स, मतलब प्योर सैंपल जिससे हम कंपेयर करेंगे हमारे एनालाइट का.
हाँ, इसमें जो सेकेंड पार्ट है उसमें देखो क्या होता है. कई बार आपका ड्रग प्रोडक्ट है टैबलेट. ओके, टैबलेट हमेशा सिंपल नहीं होता जैसे पैरासिटामोल का होता है. कुछ होते हैं एंट्रिक कोटेड टैबलेट या फिर कुछ होता है मैट्रिक्स टैबलेट. आप शायद सूटिक्स में ये पढ़ रहे होंगे. तो उसमें
हाँ.
ना स्पेशलाइज्ड पॉलीमर यूज करते हैं. ओके, तो अभी किसी भी नए मेथड का हमने देखा कि उसका इंटेंशन क्या होना चाहिए. वो ड्रग सब्सटेंस इट शुड डिटरमाइन इंडिविजुअली ऑल्सो, and if it is for drug product it should be able to determine the quantity of API in presence of excipients. तो अगर हमको सब एक्सिपिएंट्स नहीं मिलते हैं, जैसे कुछ पॉलीमर है जो बहुत सारा एक्सपेंसिव होगा या फिर रेयर होगा, वो किसी कंपनी का पेटेंटेड होगा जो कंपनी टेस्टिंग के लिए बाहर नहीं देती है, तो अगर वो ऑब्टेन करना डिफिकल्ट होगा तो हम we will take the drug substance, drug product जो टैबलेट है उसको ही लेंगे हम, और उसमें प्योर पैरासिटामोल या जो भी ड्रग एपीआई है उसको हम अलग से ऐड करेंगे.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
हाँ हाँ, वेलकम. एनी अदर डाउट?
So you told we will take that substance and add another, the pure drug. Means
you're talking about drug substance or drug product?
it's a drug product.
Drug product is your tablets, injections, suspensions. Okay, so in that
Yes.
drug product you are adding same fixed quantity of your known API. Suppose paracetamol हम known quantity add कर रहे हैं, तो अभी total quantity बढ़ जाएगा. कितना बढ़ेगा
Yes.
वो आपको पता रहेगा. हमने 50 mg डाला तो हमको पता रहेगा कि 50 mg से रिजल्ट बढ़ेगा, 100 mg ऐड किया तो हमको पता है 100 mg से रिजल्ट बढ़ेगा। तो हम ये एनालिसिस दो बार करेंगे, एक ड्रग सब्सटेंस ऐड करने से पहले और दूसरा ड्रग सब्सटेंस ऐड करने के बाद। दोनों में डिफरेंस उतना ही मिलना चाहिए जितना हमने डेलिबरेटली ऐड किया। ठीक है, अगर वो सेम क्वांटिटी मैच होता है तो अपना मेथड एक्यूरेट है, अदरवाइज मेथड एक्यूरेट नहीं है।
Okay, sir.
Anyone else? Any other doubt? If you don't have doubt, Ruksar is asking something. Okay, she's saying that she has no doubt. Okay.